The moment didn't need words, and that was exactly why everyone noticed it. In the middle of a chaotic service at the end 2026, when the cameras were capturing overlapping voices, clattering dishes, and rushed instructions, Wang paused for just a second. Across the room, Shen was struggling, just slightly, with a task that most viewers might have missed. But he didn't miss it. He never does. Without calling attention to himself, without breaking the flow, he subtly adjusted his own pace, shifted position, and created space for her to recover. No direct words, no dramatic gesture, just understanding. And somehow, that silent exchange said more than any scripted dialogue ever could. Before we dive deeper into this unspoken connection, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates like this. Because moments like these are easy to miss, but once you see them, you can't unsee them. What makes their dynamic in the end 2026 so captivating isn't just chemistry, it's communication without language. It's the way they seem to operate on a shared frequency, one that doesn't rely on constant talking, but instead thrives on observation, timing, and emotional awareness. Throughout the season, there have been countless instances where this hidden language reveals itself. A glance held just a second longer than necessary. A half smile exchanged across a crowded room. The way Dylan instinctively steps in before Shen even asks for help. And perhaps even more telling, the way Shen seems to anticipate his reactions, adjusting her own behavior in response before he says a single word. It's subtle, it's quiet, but it's incredibly powerful. This kind of connection doesn't happen overnight. If you look back at their journey, from their earlier collaborations to their evolving friendship, you begin to see how this silent understanding was built. Shared experiences, mutual respect, and a deep familiarity with each other's personalities have created something that feels almost instinctive now. On the end 2026, where pressure is constant and emotions often run high, this kind of unspoken communication becomes even more significant. While others rely on verbal coordination, Dylan and Shen often seem to bypass that step entirely. It's as if they've developed their own shorthand, a way of saying everything without actually saying anything. And viewers have noticed. Social media has been flooded with clips and analyses of their interactions. Fans replay scenes, slow them down, and point out the smallest details. The way Dylan's gaze softens when Shen laughs, or how Shen instinctively looks toward him when something unexpected happens. These aren't grand, cinematic moments, but they feel real, and that authenticity is what draws people in. Again, before we go further, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more updates like this. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. One of the most talked about aspects of their connection is how balanced it feels. There's no sense of one person overpowering the other. Instead, there's a natural rhythm, give and take, lead and follow, support and independence. Dylan might take charge in one moment, but in the next, Shen steps forward with quiet confidence, and he seamlessly adapts. It's this balance that makes their hidden language so effective. It's not just about understanding. It's about trust. And trust is something that becomes very evident in high-pressure situations. There was a moment in the show where a small mistake threatened to disrupt the entire workflow. Tension was rising, and voices were getting louder. But instead of adding to the chaos, Dylan and Shen seemed to retreat into their own calm space. A quick look, a slight nod, and suddenly, they were back in sync, working together to fix the problem without escalating the situation. No dramatic confrontation. No unnecessary words. Just quiet efficiency. This ability to remain grounded and connected, even when everything around them is falling apart, speaks volumes about their relationship, not just as colleagues, but as people who genuinely understand each other. Of course, not everyone interprets this connection the same way. Some see it as deep friendship. Others speculate about something more. But regardless of how you choose to define it, one thing is clear. There's a unique bond between Dylan Wang and Shen that goes beyond surface-level interaction. And perhaps what makes it even more compelling is that it feels unforced. In a world where so many on-screen relationships are carefully curated and scripted, their dynamic feels organic, unpredictable, real. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates like this, because we're just getting started uncovering these hidden moments. Another fascinating aspect of their silent communication is how it evolves over time. Early in the season, their interactions were more tentative, still comfortable, but not quite as fluid. There were moments of hesitation, instances where words were still necessary to bridge the gap. But as the episodes progressed, something shifted. The pauses became shorter. The reactions became quicker. The need for verbal confirmation seemed to fade. It was as if they were gradually tuning into each other's frequency, learning to read between the lines. Or, in many cases, without any lines at all. By the midpoint of the show, their language had become almost second nature. And it's not just about efficiency or teamwork. There's an emotional layer to it as well. You can see it in the way they support each other during quieter moments, when the cameras aren't focused on big events, but on the small, in-between interactions that reveal true character. A reassuring glance when one of them looks tired. A subtle joke shared under their breath. The way they seem to find comfort in each other's presence without needing to fill the silence. These are the moments that resonate most deeply with viewers, because they reflect something universally human. The desire to be understood without having to explain yourself. Once again, if you're enjoying this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates like this. There's still so much more to uncover. It's also worth noting how this dynamic influences the overall atmosphere of the in 2026. Their calm, synchronized energy often acts as a stabilizing force for the rest of the team. When things get hectic, their quiet coordination brings a sense of order. When emotions run high, their grounded presence helps to diffuse tension. In many ways, their hidden language doesn't just benefit them, it elevates the entire group. And yet, despite all the attention their connection receives, neither Dylan nor Shen Yu seems to make a big deal out of it. There are no grand declarations, no attempt to define or label what they have. Instead, they simply continue to interact in the way that feels natural to them. Maybe that's the real secret, because sometimes the most meaningful connections aren't the ones that are loudly expressed, but the ones that exist quietly, consistently, and without the need for validation. As the season continues, fans are eagerly watching to see how this dynamic will evolve. Will their unspoken understanding deepen even further? Will there be moments where words finally become necessary? Or will they continue to communicate in this beautifully understated way that has captured everyone's attention? Whatever happens, one thing is certain. The hidden language between Dylan Wang and Shen Yu has become one of the most compelling elements of the in 2026. And if you've been paying close attention, you already know it's not just about what they say. It's about everything they don't. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates like this, because the story is still unfolding, and the next silent moment might just say everything.